Oh, my God. Kelly! Oh, you stupid girl. Do you think this is going to get you?
Connors.
Connors did this?
Connors. Jenkins.
Come back here, you stupid bitches! She's lying, I tell ya! Ferguson! Ask the others, damn ya!
Right, you better sign this and I'll send it on to the department.
The biggest thing in Kelly's favour is that the woman's a coward. I can't imagine her ever doing it to herself.
And we know for a fact that Connors took the knife. Oh, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to gel somehow.
Don't worry, I'll be questioning everyone very closely.
Don't know what I can say. I know it was my fault. I should have noticed it was gone sooner.
Yes, well, the important thing now is that you remember exactly what happened.
I'm trying.
You didn't actually see her take the knife?
No, but when I found out, that is, when I saw it was gone, I thought back to when I used it earlier. It was before Nancy and Rita came in. I remember thinking it was odd at the time.
Odd?
Her coming into the kitchen like that. Nancy, I mean, not being rostered for work and all.
This was when Connors was there?
Yes, she had the skip. She was picking up the tea towels. I wasn't watching her. I was talking to Nancy. I should have realized. I'm sorry, Mrs. Reynolds.
Are you suggesting McCormick deliberately distracted you so Connors could get the knife?
Yes, now I come to think about it, that could have been what they were up to.
Not something I'd expect McCormick to get involved in.
Well, she mightn't have known what Rita was up to.
Possibly. Did they both leave the kitchen together?
No, I think so. I'm not quite sure. I know how much you're relying on my evidence, but I just can't think of anything else.
It's all right, Mervyn. You've been very helpful. Would you mind waiting outside for a moment, please? This added to Kelly's statement, I'd say Connors is in serious trouble.
We've got to verify that first.
Yes, well, the hospital should be able to confirm that the wounds weren't self-inflicted. Till we get their report, we'll have to go on what we've got. Let's have McCormack in.
Right.
Just let me and Kelly for 10 seconds, she'll tell the truth. You hear me?
Hey, Ray, is that you?
Who the bloody hell else would it be? You know anything about this?
No, nothing, honest. It was unclean and they grabbed me and dumped me in here. Hey, I reckon we've been set up.
Of course we've been bloody set up. It was Kelly. Bitch must have cut herself and told him it was us.
Jeez, she must be off her head.
No such luck as she would have done it properly. She must have wanted real bad to get at us to do it that way.
Hey, yeah, but what if they didn't find her? She'd be dead.
When I get my hands on her, she's gonna wish she was.
Take her straight up for a transfusion. You know how much she's lost? Fair bit before we got there. Don't know for sure how much.
Yeah, well, it seems pretty strange that she'd pinch a knife and not say anything to us.
Could be the freak set her up.
Wouldn't mind betting it's got something to do with Kelly. She went to the Toot ages ago and hasn't been seen since.
Yeah, what about that ambulance we heard?
Oh, great. Let's go find out.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, they'll be putting Nance through the ringer.
Why, Nance?
She went with Rita to the kitchen, you know, to pinch the yeast and the sugar.
Yeah, well, maybe we ought to move that stuff.
Where would we move it to? If we shifted around, the screws are sure to catch on. We just have to hope that Nance doesn't say anything.
Mervyn does tend to get flustered.
Seemed more uneasy to me. And there's the threat Ferguson heard Connors make, too.
Yes?
McCormick's here.
Thanks, Meg. Bring her in, would you?
By the way, Connors is causing trouble in solitary. She and Jenkins haven't stopped yelling since they were put in there.
I'll see if I can quieten them down if you
Please
like.
do. McCormick? I understand you were in the kitchen this afternoon with Connors.
Oh, I was talking to Mervyn, Mr. Pringle, about cooking.
I see. And what do you suppose Connors was doing while you were talking about cooking?
I don't know.
You didn't happen to see Connors helping herself to a kitchen knife?
A knife? Why would she do that?
I rather hoped you'd tell us.
No, I can't, honestly. I don't know anything, but I did hear an ambulance, though. Somebody had been hurt.
There was an attempt on Kelly's life. Are you sure you haven't got anything to tell us?
No, I haven't.
Pulse is settling down nicely.
Out of danger then, is she?
Oh, yes, well and truly.
Seemed like it was touch and go when they brought her in.
Well, they wouldn't have known until they examined her. As it turned out, she hadn't lost much blood at all. Couldn't have been more than 2 units.
Yeah? How long are you planning on keeping her here then?
Well, that's up to Doctor. But if she continues to improve, there's no reason why she can't go back to the prison hospital in the morning.
Yeah, suits me. Easier to keep an eye on her there than it is here.
Let us out of here, you mongrels, or we'll rip the place apart. How'd you like your stinking bloody prison gown around your ears?
Shut up, both of you!
Now, if it isn't his master's voice, the has-been governor, how do you think you're gonna make me, Moran?
Back against the wall.
Get stuffed.
I want to talk. Now, I can do it from here, or I can come in there and we can talk like normal people.
Oh, don't make me laugh! You hear that, Lurch? Screw reckons he's normal people. Ha!
Make up your mind, Connors.
All right. Come in. So what do you want to talk about?
You're making a lot of unnecessary noise.
Gonna make a lot more.
What good do you think it's going to do?
You dump us in here without any reason, you're gonna have to put up with it.
I warned you what would happen if you did anything to Kelly.
So?
So you gave me your word, and I don't like me made a fool of.
Don't look at me, fella. I kept my word.
Kelly's been carted off to hospital, half dead.
I kept my word. Who do you think you're kidding anyway? All this I trusted you and you let me down, garbage. You don't give a stuff about Kelly. All you're worried about is your bloody job. It was your smart idea not to get her shipped off to Blackmore. Well, now it's blown up in your face. You want me to cop the blame for it. Well, no way, Buster.
You had your chance, Connors, and you blew it.
Hey, what's going on? Gave me any stinking chance, you slave. And I never touched Kelly. It's you're the one who's stuffed up, and you're the one who's going to get dumped in it. You hear me, moron? When all this comes out, you're the one that's going to wear it. Ah!
But you must have heard something.
Just that she's supposed to have pinched a knife.
Oh, we already know that. Great lot of help you are. Hey, did you hear anything about Reed?
I've just been in Mrs. Reynolds' office. They've been asking me all kinds of questions.
I knew it. But you didn't know anything about the knife, did you?
Oh, no. I can't believe Rita would do a thing like that.
I mean, she might have wanted it for something, but it's still
Oh, no,
strange.
I don't mean that. I mean about her trying to kill Lou Kelly.
What are you talking about?
I didn't know what to say. I mean, I thought she was just taking yeast and sugar. I didn't realise it was anything so serious.
Oh, here, take it easy. Now, what exactly did they say?
Someone's tried to kill Lou Kelly.
You're kidding!
With a knife, apparently, and they think it was Rita and Alice. They're both in solitary.
The ambulance, that's why the ambulance was here.
Jeez, they must have cut her up real bad.
Yeah, well, we don't worry about that now. What we got to do is find out something to help Reed.
Hey, hang on a minute. It couldn't have been Rita. She was with us in the laundry all hour.
That's right.
Well, then it's a mistake.
Yeah, looks like it.
Well, we can vouch for Rita. Why don't we tell somebody?
Don't you think I should tell Mrs. Reynolds the truth?
What do you mean?
About why we were in the kitchen.
Oh, get out. You blow Rita's whole plan and we'd lose all the grog.
She must have seen I was lying, because I'm so bad at it. Now, if I tell her the truth about the other things, she might believe me about the knife.
Well, maybe as a last resort, love. But things aren't as bad as that. We know Reed didn't do it, and we just got to find out who did.
But maybe it was her. She could have sneaked out for a minute without you seeing.
Oh, no way.
Well, the screws must have some sort of evidence to put her in the pound.
All the evidence they need is that Reed hated Lou Kelly's guts.
I mean, Lurch could have had a go, and they could think Reed put her up to it.
I don't know. Well, it's no good guessing about things. We got to do something. And the only thing we know for sure is that Reed didn't do it. She's got a watertight alibi. And there's just no way that they can argue with that.
Have you seen the governor?
No. Looks like your plan backfired, Moran.
What?
Keeping Kelly here when you should have sent her away. Look what it's led to. The rest of the staff aren't too impressed either. It doesn't give us much confidence, does it, when the Deputy Governor makes mistakes like that?
If and when I make mistakes, I'll account for them to the people who matter. Oh, Mrs. Barry, have you seen the Governor? She's not in her office.
No, I was looking for her myself. The people in the rec room want to talk to her.
What's the problem?
Well, the women are very upset about Connors and Jenkins being in solitary. According to Egbert, they've got proof that Connors is innocent.
Oh, they have they? All right, I'll talk to them.
I'll come with you. They could turn nasty.
Your pulse rate is quite stable.
All I know is I feel awful. I'm real giddy and I ache all over.
Come on, you've only lost as much blood as they take from a blood donor. A cup of tea and a few minutes later and you should be feeling fine.
Well, I'm not. Feel bloody awful.
Well, it might be delayed shock or some virus you've picked up. You rest and I'll get Doctor to look in as soon as he's got a spare minute.
I understand somebody's got something to say about Connors.
Yeah. It wasn't Rita who attacked Kelly. She was with us in the laundry when it happened.
I see. And just how do you know when it happened?
Well, it must have been when Kelly left the laundry to go to the toot.
Yeah, and Rita was with us the whole time after that.
Yeah, and I just had afternoon tea with Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
It's the truth.
Oh, they'd lie till they were blue in the face to protect their own skins. What about Jenkins? Have you got a story for her too?
No, only Rita.
But she was in the laundry when you came to get her, Miss Ferguson.
Yes, and as I recall, there was an awful lot of shyaking going on. Like you had something to celebrate.
That was just a joke somebody told, that's all.
Yes, and from the way it sounded to me, the joke was on Kelly.
Nice try, ladies. But Kelly told us it was Connors and Jenkins. She might appreciate your protection, but it's my time you're wasting, and I don't appreciate that.
Wait, Mr. Moran. I swear we're telling the truth.
Yeah, honest.
All the evidence is against it.
Look, you believed me about Lexi. Maybe you couldn't do anything about it, but you did believe me. Well, I wasn't lying then, and I'm not lying now. Rita was with us in the laundry the whole time after Kelly went, and that's the truth.
I'll pass this on to Mrs. Reynolds.
If you lot expect us to fall for that, then pathetic isn't the word for it.
Well, Kelly fingered him, eh?
Yeah, it's beginning to look like it. I can smell a setup.
Maybe somebody should go to the kitchen and try and find out the truth about that knife.
You go, love. Go with Lexi, and go now.
Of course they're lying. Anyone can see that.
Maybe.
No, maybe. You'd have to be stupid to believe anything that lot tell you.
You work on your theories, Ferguson. I'll work on mine. I wouldn't trust the others, but Wyndham impressed me.
Yeah, she did once before, didn't she? And let you down. Listen, even if Connors was in the laundry, she still could have planned that attack. I'd say she did it herself and the others are covering for her.
Well, what, I didn't do nothing, honest.
Well, it's your chance to explain to Mrs. Reynolds.
Suppose you believe this one too.
Oh, it's not my fault I ain't got no alibi. I was working by myself.
Save it for the Governor. Maybe she'll believe you. Although I doubt it. She's not as gullible as some people around here.
Oh, but I'm telling you the truth. What have you got to pick on me all the time for?
What's wrong?
Nothing. I just wanted to say I appreciate what you do, warning me about that knife.
That's all right. Just want to do the right thing, that's all.
You certainly did, and I appreciate it. I'd have been in all sorts of trouble if I hadn't reported that knife missing before the attack.
You won't tell anyone it was me, will you?
I won't say a word. It's the least I can do. What are you girls doing here?
We just want to talk to you for a minute.
What about?
The knife. The one that was used on Kelly. So we know Rita didn't take it, and we're wondering what made you think she did.
It's quite simple. No one else had a chance. The only time I wasn't looking was when Nancy came here and got me talking. That's when Connors was here as well. You can't tell me that was all a coincidence.
But it could have been easily. It doesn't prove a thing.
To me, it does. Anyway, you two shouldn't be here talking either. I've already had one close shave today, and that's quite enough.
Look, we just want to know what really happened, okay?
That's the officer's job, and they don't need any help. Now, off you go, both of
But
you.
if someone else did take
I've already told you. Now, off you go.
Oh, come on, Jules. You notice anything in there?
I thought Move looked a bit uncomfortable.
What about Maggot?
What do you mean?
Oh, I don't know, Chook. I've just got a funny feeling.
She seems to be sleeping quite soundly now. I can't see she'll be giving you any trouble.
Oh, good. Might try and grab a quick 40 winks myself. Only kidding.
Just as well.
I wouldn't feel too safe just because of these.
I don't think you really want to be on an extra charge, Connors. You're in enough trouble as it is.
For nothing. I might as well do something to make it worthwhile.
You still maintain it wasn't you who attacked Kelly?
If it was me, I'd have done it properly. But as it happens, I gave my word to my offsider here that I wouldn't hurt her. And I keep my word.
Then how do you account for all the evidence that points to you?
I don't even know what it is.
Point 1. The knife that was used in the attack was reported stolen from the kitchen by you.
Who says?
Mr. Pringle.
He's dreaming.
Point 2, when I asked McCormack if she'd helped you steal the knife, she was evasive and behaved in an obviously guilty manner.
Oh, she's always like that. She's religious. She feels guilty about breathing.
Point 3. You're widely known to have a grudge against Kelly and to have threatened her on more than one occasion.
Me and 3 million
Point
other
4. There is absolutely no reliable evidence as to Jenkins and your whereabouts at the time of the attack.
I was in the laundry. Just ask the others.
Under the circumstances, I hardly think their word can be considered reliable. Point 5. Kelly herself identified you and Jenkins as her attackers.
And you believed her?
Why should she lie?
Bloody hell, it's a setup. A 2-year-old could see that. She did it to herself to get back at me and Alice.
We've considered that. But the plain fact is, I don't believe she'd have the nerve to physically harm herself.
Bull, she wouldn't.
I admit the evidence is largely circumstantial, but there's a great deal of it, and it all points to you. This may change as extra evidence comes to light, but for the moment, I have to consider you as a principal suspect.
I didn't touch her, you silly bitch!
That's enough!
You would never speak to me like that again, ever.
You tell me how else to speak to someone who gets outsmarted by a scumbag like Kelly.
Take her back, Mr. Moran.
We haven't got any real evidence yet. Only that she's on side with Kelly. She's working in the kitchen. Gee, she looked as guilty as hell when we were asking Mervyn about the knife.
She still looks nervous. Every time I look up, she's watching us, and then she pretends she's not.
The bitch has got to be in on it. Yeah, she could have put one over on Merv.
Oh, who couldn't?
Well, that should be enough.
God, he's got a bloody nerve showing his face in here after what he's done to Rita.
Nothing he eyed lately,
Hey, be quiet! I said be quiet!
Poor Merv.
Poor Merv's got to understand he can't have it both ways.
Yeah. What are we going to do about the maggot? Bash the truth out of her?
Well, we'll have a few words with her to start with and then see where we go from there.
Look, I think the best thing is if I tell Mrs. Reynolds what Rita and I were really doing in the kitchen.
Look, I've already told you you can't. You'll blow the whole home brewing operation.
Well, what's more important, that or getting Rita out of solitary?
It's not up to us.
Well, how do you mean?
Rita's the only one who can decide something like that.
Well, you're ready to bash Janet half to death because you think she might know something?
You bet. Look, if Rita wants to blow the scandal to save her neck, then let her. Otherwise, it's up to us to find another way.
Oh, I'll just take Murray to collect the trays from solitary, if that's all right, Mr. Pringle. Mervyn? What's the matter?
They hissed at me.
What?
The girls in the dining room hissed at me like I was a villain in some melodrama.
Oh, dear.
I've always done the right thing by them, Joycey. I've always been their friend.
Well, yes, I'm sure they didn't mean anything by it, dear. The women in here haven't been giving you any trouble, have they?
Pardon? No, they've not said anything. It's the girls in the dining room. If that's how they treat me for just doing my job, I'm blowed if I'm going to spend any of my hard-earned money on them.
Well, why should you?
Exactly. Well, some of the women said they'd like to see the wedding. Of course they can't. So I thought I might have a videotape done for them.
Oh, Mervyn, I think that's a lovely idea. And so will they. This'll blow over in no time, you'll see.
You think?
Yes. And, while we're on the subject of the wedding, there's something I've been meaning to mention.
Well, what's that, love?
Well, I know how anxious you are to have a formal wedding, but I wondered if... Well, Mervyn, would you mind if we didn't have the wedding waltz? Oh, I've been sick with worry about it. I really have, and I don't think I can go through with it. Well, I've been even having nightmares, terrible ones. There's Joan Ferguson dancing beautifully, and I'm all left-footed and gangly, and she took you away from me.
Joan Ferguson? You're worried about losing me to Joan Ferguson?
Oh, no, of course not. That's just in the dream, but... Oh, I don't want to make a fool of myself. Not on our wedding day.
Listen, love, with that worried, we can do without the waltz.
Oh.
I want a wedding to be the happiest day of your life. We could get married in an elevator, if you like.
Oh, Mervyn. I do love you so much. Well, come on, Murray. Trade duty.
Okay, Mrs. Blue.
Were you talking about me?
No,
You kept looking at me.
I don't remember. We certainly weren't talking about you.
It's just that I know Mrs. B's your fiancée, but she's still one of the screws. If she knew I was the one who lagged about the knife, she'd tell Mrs. Reynolds and I'd be in real trouble.
Look, I promised I wouldn't say anything, and I won't. Heavens, you're the only one who's shown me any consideration at all in this affair. No one's going to hear about it from me, not even Mrs. Barry.
Connors? Stand back where I can see you. Connors?
Take that back to your precious Mervyn and tell him he can shove it.
Right, madam, you are on another charge.
So what? You want to knock some sense into him, Barry? Tell him he shouldn't make up lies about people stealing knives.
Just stand out of the way so Murray can come in and clean up that mess.
I'll do anyone who comes in here.
Don't be stupid, Connors.
You tell Reno I want to see the man, and I'm not letting anyone in here till I do.
Which man?
Dan, the man. She knows. Just tell her. Tell her.
All right. Calm down. I'll give Mrs. Reynolds your message.
I'll make it fast.
She's only one woman. How does she think she can keep us out?
I don't know, but she sounds upset enough to try.
All right, thank you, Joyce. Leave it with us. The woman's beginning to annoy me.
Why not bring Moulton? I met him a couple of times and I was impressed. Could save us a lot of trouble.
No, I don't think it's a good idea.
Why not?
It could create more problems than it solves.
I don't see how.
Because Dan and I are friends.
Oh, I see. Well, is that any reason not to ask for his help?
It could create an awkward situation, that's all. Anyway, I don't think we can let Connors make this sort of demand.
Fair enough. But Moulton might be able to cool things until we get confirmation of Kelly's wounds.
Don't see it could do any harm.
If Connors is telling the truth, can't blame her for acting the way she is. And if we rush in there with tear gas and batons, it's only going to make things a bit strained later on.
All right, I'll get in touch and ask him to come in.
Peaceful little spot you've got here?
Sometimes. This is one of our quieter days. Sorry if we're boring you.
No, not me. I like it peaceful. Wonder what time the forensic doc's getting here.
Forensic?
Yeah, check Kelly's wounds.
Oh, don't you trust our workmanship?
No, not that. Now people want to know if it's self-inflicted or someone else did it to her. Intern who stitched her up couldn't tell.
Well, I doubt if I could either.
Something to do with the depth and direction of the cuts. I reckon the experts know.
D Ward, Nurse Carter.
Just had a call from the desk. Dan's got your message. He's on his way.
All right, thanks, Meg.
Now, stop worrying. He sounds very sensible. I mean, can't you trust him to handle it the best way?
Yes. I suppose what it boils down to is it's still early in the relationship and it's very vulnerable. I'm just scared of anything that might put pressure on it. And Connors certainly comes into that category.
I'm sure it won't be anywhere near as bad as you're imagining.
Hope you're right.
When am I ever wrong? I'll go and check on Joyce.
Here, you getting cleaned up all right?
Oh, yes, I'm getting there. Oh, Meg, the most wonderful news. Mervyn's decided to drop the wedding waltz.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. It's wonderful. I feel like a ton weight's lifted off my shoulders.
I bet you do. Now, no more bad dreams, eh?
No. Oh, Meg, Here am I, practically doing high kicks, and you must be very upset about being demoted.
No, not anymore. But I've actually realised that maybe Bob is the best person for the job.
Yes, but it must be pretty discouraging. You've always done such a good job.
Oh, I was upset at first, but I think a lot of that was just hurt pride.
What about Joan? She's certainly not going to see it your way.
No, not when she's got such a good excuse for her own personal little vendetta.
I don't give a damn what you think my motives are, Morris. I've got no intention of letting the issue drop.
Well, I don't think Bob's going to lose any sleep over it.
We'll see. Incidentally, I just found out about the governor's new boyfriend. A crony of Connor's, eh? No wonder her brother was so sure of himself when he came in here today.
Bastards. I bet they're not going to get him. Mongrels. Hey, screw! You bitches! You better get him in here! You hear me?
Oh, will you shut up about bloody Merv and he asked for it? Not if he made a genuine mistake.
Look, mistake or not, Rita's paying, okay?
Yeah, I guess so. Geez, I hope Jess is right about Maggot knowing something. That's all we got to go on.
Oh, geez, it really makes my blood boil. You know, if they'd listened to us, we wouldn't have to bugger us around playing bloody Agatha Christie.
Hey, there you are. Have you heard about Rita?
What? No.
Oh, well, Tina went up to get her tray, and apparently she's really upset and screaming at Mrs. B to get that minister friend of hers in here.
Poor Rita. She must really feel alone.
Yeah, well, look, we're supposed to be a gang. Let's do something to show her she's not.
We could send her a note.
We'd have to get it past the screws first.
Oh, come on. I got an idea. Oh, come on, you two. Let's get some more.
Oh, I don't believe it. It's just not Rita's style. She might kill in a fit of rage, but not premeditated.
That was my impression too, but I have to go by the evidence.
No, I'm not talking about impressions. I'm talking about what I know. Rita's the sort of person, if she ever did kill somebody, she wouldn't lie about it. She'd come right out and tell you.
Maybe so. Look, I didn't want to call you in on this, but she has insisted on it, and I thought if I did, then you might be able to calm her down a bit.
I see. I gathered from the officer that everyone here knows about us.
Yes, Bongo came to see Rita today.
Is that a problem for you?
Might become one if I let it, but I don't intend to.
Hey, come on. It's only a job. Don't let them put you off just because they're throwing you a few curved balls on your first day back.
The job isn't getting me down. I just don't want it to affect us.
It won't. We'll just help each other unwind a night, okay?
That'd be nice.
Okay.
Yes?
I hope I'm not intruding.
No, what is it?
There's a disturbance at one of the security gates. I thought you'd like to know.
Warriors! Up the warriors! Warriors! Warriors!
Settle down and quiet. Back to the rec room or you'll all be on a charge.
Okay, everyone, back to the rec room. One last yell, eh? 1, 2, 3!
All that shouting. You're doing a good cup of tea. Well, I hope it gets us somewhere. Yes, so do I.
Let us settle down, everybody.
Yes, now find something to do and be quiet. Oh, come on, but there's nothing to do in here. I don't give you that, Addison. There's plenty to do.
Mrs. Reynolds gave you the television and radio back. Any more of this kind of nonsense, you'll lose them again.
Oh, big deal, the TV and radio back. All we got to do to keep them is let Rita rot and sultry for something she didn't do.
Come on, I think we made our point.
Anybody know any good protest songs?
Yeah, We Shall Overcome.
You know that?
Yeah, I'm a protester from way back. I was born without a brain.
We shall overcome!
Quiet down!
We shall overcome!
Look, I don't think we should push them too far. Could make things worse for Rita.
Yeah, she's right. Let's give it a bit of time and see what happens.
We're going to have to be careful with Connors, the way she's got the women's loyalty so quickly. If we don't handle this right, we'll have another riot on our hands.
Well, we'll have to keep a close eye on them and nip it in the bud before it gets that far.
Connors, Mr. Moulton's here. Stand against the wall.
Oh, yeah? Are you out there, Dan?
Well, I reckon I must be. I presume I'm going alone.
Well, of course not. The woman's dangerous.
Not to me.
To anyone. She's a lot stronger than she looks.
I'd like to talk to her alone.
It'll be all right, Miss Ferguson.
About time you got here.
What are you doing to that silly bitch? Her brains got scrambled.
Now, let's get one thing straight. You don't talk to me like that about Anne. I won't tell you what an ugly bastard Slasher was.
All right. But you gotta make her believe me.
Well, you got to make me believe you first, so calm down, tell me your story.
Jeez, I wish those bitches had never found me. I'd rather be dead than feel like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel so dizzy, and I can hardly sit up.
Let's have a look at the other one.
Now, careful, it's sore.
Stop jerking, please. I want to have a proper look at it.
I can't help it if I'm shaking. It's because I'm so weak.
The dressings back, please, nurse.
Yes, Doctor.
Thank you.
Jeez, what a pain in the bum he was. Is he going to be around much?
I'm not sure. He's not one of the hospital doctors.
Well, who is he then?
Well, I guess he's a police doctor. Just a formality. Don't worry about it.
Reen, I believe you. I'm just trying to make you see it from Anne's point of view. I mean, all the evidence is against you.
All right. But you want to know what really got up my nose? All the girls swore black and blue I was in the laundry with them, and she ignored them.
Maybe she got good reason.
All right, fair enough. She'd be a bit sus of Lex. But Chucky and Jess, they're as honest as the bloody day's long, and the screws treat them like last month's garbage. Especially your friend. What do you see in her?
Hey, don't judge me, Reed, or her. You only see a small part of Anne Reynolds here.
Yeah, well, what about the Conquerors?
That's their problem. Look, we both know we found something special. That's all that matters to us.
It's truth. Whatever she's got, she must know how to use it pretty well to get Dan the man hooked this bad.
All right, that's enough. I thought you of all people would understand what it's like when work and personal lives overlap.
Yes, of course. I apologise. I'm afraid you're going to have to get used to it, especially from the women.
She's promised to cooperate. For the moment, at least.
I can't tell you how pleased I am to hear that. You'll have to tell me his secret. Maybe I can use it sometime.
Hey, Sim, I believed her.
Dan, you don't know the full story.
Hey, look, you've told me your story. She's told me hers. I don't think she's guilty. Look, why don't you let her out of solitary? Just for the moment, anyway. It'll get you a lot of goodwill from the women. And surely, in the long run, that's in your best interests.
I'll be the judge of what's in my best interests.
From what I've seen, your judgment can use a little outside help.
Governor, if you'd prefer to discuss this in private...
There is nothing to discuss.
Come on, we haven't even scratched the surface.
Some oil's thicker than water. Is that what this is all about?
Didn't take us long to get to the wisecrack stage, did it?
Excuse me, I've just had a call from forensic about Kelly's wounds.
Not before time. What did they say?
Self-inflicted. Connors was telling the truth.
I'm off for my coffee break. I'll bring you back one if you like.
Can't think of anything I'd like better. Oh, well, I can actually, but I'll talk to you about that later.
Behave yourself, or I'll tell Sister.
Hey, get us a paper, will you?
Back in 5 minutes.
I've asked for both women to be brought here as soon as they're released. Obviously, I owe them an apology.
Pity forensic didn't get that information to you a bit sooner. Would have saved a lot of trouble.
It still doesn't make sense to me. I would have thought Kelly was much too big a card to have done that to herself, and for what? She must have known the story wouldn't hold water.
Yes.
Now she's left with two alternatives. To come back here and suffer the consequences or be transferred to Blackmore.
Well, maybe that's what she wanted, the transfer.
No. She thought she was going to Blackmore after the riot. The idea terrified her.
And you're right, it doesn't make sense.
Unless she wasn't planning on coming back.
My God, she's planning an escape. Putting the blame on Connors and Jenkins was just a red herring.
We're only guessing, but it makes sense. And as far as Kelly's concerned, doesn't pay to take chances. We'll double the guard at the hospital.
Dear Ward, Nurse Carter. Wentworth? Oh, yes, Mrs. Reynolds. Well, I don't know. He was here 5 minutes ago. He must be in with the patient. Look, just hold on. I'll go and have a look. Oh, God, what's happened?
Quick, get out an emergency call. Kelly's escaped.
I owe you both an apology. From the forensic report and Kelly's escape, it's now clear what she was up to.
We tried to tell you we didn't do nothing, Mrs. Reynolds.
I can't imagine why I didn't believe you, Jenkins, considering you've never lied to me before. Anyway, I was wrong and I apologize.
Yeah. Well, I'm not one to hold a grudge, seeing as how you admit you were wrong.
Very decent of you.
Yeah. That list of things we'll be getting together to give you tomorrow. We shouldn't have any trouble in getting them all now you're feeling so guilty.
Any guilt I might happen to feel probably won't last that long, but you can always hope. All right, Mrs. Morris, you can take them back to the women now.
Oh, just a minute. Well, I was going to talk to you later, but while we're all here, is there any chance of Rita being able to get Slash's bikie jacket?
What for?
Oh, just sort of memento, I suppose.
You know what it'd mean to me.
Well, I'm sorry, Connors. I really can't allow it. We had enough trouble with the one you arrived in, and I'm sure the department would never allow it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I've never known a place with so many rules.
Come on, let's go. Sorry.
I promised I'd ask.
Oh. I hope I don't have many days like that in a row.
I'm sorry I sounded off at you. Tact was never one of my best subjects. I think you're probably right. I should stay well away from here. I don't want other people's problems coming between us.
I think we can probably overcome any professional disagreements. Don't you?
Don't you lot want to watch the telly now we got it back? Not in the mood.
Haven't seen Maggot lately. Do you reckon she's twigged we're onto it?
Probably hiding somewhere. Won't do her much good, but can you imagine what Reed's going to do to her when she gets out?
them. What do you reckon?
Did ya?
Nah, they let me out. They couldn't stand the noise you lot were making. You better believe it. Though I reckon the news they got from the hospital helped a bit.
What was that?
Are you all ready for this? Because I can tell you. You're not going to believe it.
It's Moran's fault she's on the run. He was the one who kept her here instead of sending her to Blackmore.
It's a bit early to lay fault anywhere.
You think so? Well, what about Patterson? It was the governor when she got out, and it was up to me to find out how she got past security. If they needed a new deputy, why didn't they pick someone with a bit of nous?
Meaning you, Joe?
Of course not. God, he's no better qualified than any one of us. Mrs. Morris should never have been demoted.
I agree with you totally, but there's very little we can do about it except let Mrs. Reynolds know our feelings as a group.
It's not the way the union sees it.
They're going to call a strike.
Well, that's up to us to vote on tomorrow, isn't it? Good night.
Rita wants to know if anybody's got any more requests to put before Mrs. Reynolds tomorrow.
Yeah, reckon it'll be a real goer. She was that nice to us.
So she should. All right, love, we'll do it. We were just talking about Kelly going over the wall. Hey, where do you reckon she'd go?
She's buggered if I know. Well, she hasn't got any friends on the outside that I know of. Plenty of enemies, but.
Yeah, I bet. And worse. Well, how do you mean? Hey, I forgot about that. Yes, it's just what we need.
But if they won't let you have Slash's jacket, I mean, how are you going to get the stuff in?
Don't worry, I've already got it figured. The same way Barbie got the groggy. Tennis balls.
You reckon Barbie's up to it? I mean, this stuff's a bit hotter than grog.
No, not Barbie, Bongo, but we use the same plan.
Hey, Rick, get over here. Something's just occurred to me. Kelly doesn't know it yet, but she's just done Lexi and me a great big favour.
I'm glad to hear it. What?
Bassinger. Now she's out, he'll move in on her, just like he did on Nora and Lex. Yeah!
I see what you mean. With a bit of luck, the two of them might kill each other.
Better than that, because Mabel will have lined up that private dick by now, and he'll be tailing Bassinger, and that bastard moves in on Kelly and we'll have a witness.
I suppose he will.
Fan-bloody-tastic! There's a crazy out there ready to slit her guts, and when he does, it'll be the first time in her life she's ever done anything useful.
Florence Nightingale. What happened? You fall off the back of your ambulance.
Nah, my car broke down. How far are you going?
All the way, love. Hop in.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then.